Hey folks, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Kadena Campfire Community Call number 38, featuring IdeaSoft and our very own Nik. We're going to bring folks up onto the stage. Hello, Andrey. Hello, Herman. Hello, Nik.
Hey, Tyler.
Awesome. I'm so stoked that we have you all here. I know this has been hotly anticipated. There are some that are already in the know about IdeaSoft. There's some whose minds are about to be blown. We're going to have a great time here. So maybe I'll just start by, I guess I should give my usual blurb about Kadena Campfires. For those that somehow have missed the last 37, welcome everyone to this week's episode of Kadena Campfire. It's a community-driven initiative where we want to give insights into what's happening at Kadena and come together with the community to chat. The space also provides the opportunity to ask any questions that you may have and would like to know more about. So please feel free to do so. The earlier you ask questions, the more likely it is to get asked. So that said, would love to just hear a little bit about each of you. I have a few updates to give, and then we'll dive into some topics. But maybe I'll start with some of the new folks. Andrey, would love to hear a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Tyler. So, I'm Andrey. I'm the co-founder and acting CEO at IdeaSoft. I think we'll speak about the company itself a bit later on. So I'm also the co-founder at the anti-money laundering platform called Global Ledger Protocol, and the general partner in Seed Ventures, which is one of the most active VC funds out of Ukraine.
Perfect.
So that's briefly.
Hello, Herman. Would love to hear about you too.
Hey. The name is provided. I'm just the CTO of the IdeaSoft, co-founder and also co-founder of the Global Ledger Protocol and GP of the Seed Venture Fund. So this is it, like we're tied together.
Right on. And Nik, the famous Nik, would you mind reintroducing yourself for people that haven't heard from you before?
Yeah, hopefully there's not that too many. So yeah, I'm Nik, managing DeFi, a few other bits and pieces at Kadena. And obviously really happy to be here because it's bridges and stable coins, DEXs, and other bits and pieces are the things that I look after at Kadena. So happy to be back.
Right on. So I have a few updates for folks here. We'll give some of the typical Kadena updates, and then we'll jump into the main meat of today. But first, some news and updates. Number one, KDE transfer tool enhancing ledger support. This is pretty sweet. You can now sign complex JSON transactions with your ledger. So I continue to look forward to people asking when ledger for the rest of time. I embrace the meme, and we will continue delivering some cool ledger updates. So keep on asking. That's first up, but certainly not last. Next up, hashtag new Kadena portal is live. Yep. That is about to pop down below here, I think. But yeah, check out everything new Kadena. There's, as everyone knows, some huge things in the works around what's been happening, and we're coming up to some hotly anticipated days ahead. So just a quick little teaser, I suppose, that new Kadena is here, and it's going to blow you off your socks. That's a phrase I learned recently in German that confused me as a native English speaker, but apparently it sounds really good in German. Anyway, next up, Immutable Record Auction goes live on November 14th. This is pretty cool. Immutable Records, of course, has been blurring the lines between blockchain and physical items, and they had that incredible Sotheby's auction, a few months ago, and now they're back at it again. So come check out Immutable Records. They're doing some incredible things. Community, guess what? You can still claim your OG status on Discord until November 15th. That to me is a real blessing, because we all know the real OGs were here at the last campfire, but apparently we're cutting you some slack. If you missed the OG status last week, you still have one more week to claim it. So go do that on Discord and forever show off your OG-ness. Campfire Last but certainly not least, got to tune in next week as we have an incredibly exciting campfire upcoming. Yeah, this is the campfire to end all campfires. This is going to be incredible. You should definitely come check it out. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be incredibly exciting. So really looking forward to seeing folks there. And with that, I have promised that there will be a Zeely code at some point, but we're going to keep you on your toes for a little bit longer. And we're going to dive in and chat with IdeaSoft. So really, really excited. I think I'll just start off. Andrey and Herman, I guess we heard your brief introduction, but one of the things I love about Campfire is just this opportunity to get to know people on just a more human level. How did the two of you meet?
Thank you for the question. That's actually an interesting story that and quite obvious one. So Herman and I, we met in the university. So we're studying same university on our master's degree. So we met maybe in 2011. But studying we were together from 2009, and we met on the Web3 topic actually. So we met with him on starting to collaborate on the mutual Web3 startup, which turned out eventually in the IdeaSoft afterwards.
Incredible, very, very cool. Yeah, it's always fun to hear these connections and how stories come about. And the natural follow-up, of course, is what is IdeaSoft?
Currently, IdeaSoft is IdeaSoft, we established it like almost, say 9 years ago, as the company that focuses on the blockchain Web3 technologies and the fintech. And since then, we are like European-based software and business consulting house with the roots from Ukraine originally. On the Ukrainian market, we are one of 2 leading companies on this field. And currently, we even 3 years ago became a part of even larger group. It's called Sigma Software. It's one of the largest software companies in Sweden, and we represent the whole group's expertise when it comes to the blockchain and the fintech.
All right, right on. And I'm also quite curious to hear maybe from Nik about how this partnership with IdeaSoft came about.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I'd heard of IdeaSoft before working with Kadena from some of their kind of prior work they've done in Web3 specifically. And we were, obviously looking for bridge builders and people that had a track record in building bridges and Andrey, Herman interested in Pact and Chainweb and some other bits and pieces that you've got with Kadena, and you had the Hyperlane bridge, which seemed to be a very, very good fit specifically for Stuart and Will's decentralized ethos and making sure that KDA is not an island anymore. And so we met in Texas, I think it was, in person, and kind of like hashed it out in terms of why they were interested in Hyperlane, why we were interested in it, and thought we'd give it a crack and build it for the community and see what the community can do with a bridge. So it's a bit boring. No one's going to be making a Hollywood movie out of that. Okay. If Tom Cruise wants to play me in that, he can. He's got
yeah. I don't know. When you said the movie, right? I was thinking about so you're trying to make The Matrix 2, and the right bridge doesn't exist yet. So instead of finding an existing bridge for the filming the freeway scene, you got to build a new one. Anyway, that was my the rebrand.
we need a bridge. So it was look, that's and it kind of fell into place. It's been an absolute pleasure working with IdeaSoft. You can tell that they've got experience doing this, and not when I say doing this, what does that really mean? I mean, look, for them it was learning a brand new smart contract language, and they've got expertise specifically in Solidity with a lot of their prior work, and they didn't have anything, with Pact, but hopefully it says both, the engineers, you've got IdeaSoft and the Pact smart contract language, easy to pick up and easy to master. But also, you've got to have a tiny bit of brains to get stuck into it. So yeah, it's been going fantastic so far.
Right on. So I think we all have our own answer for this, but I'd be curious hearing from you, Nik. Why is building a bridge necessary?
Did you have to start with me on that one? So it's look, I just mentioned this earlier, right? Like about having Kadena being an island, and we don't want to be an island. It's not like we're trying to be an island. We wanted to make sure that the right bridge technology existed for us. So that meant having really, really strong security. I think the members of the Kadena community might remember a previous attempt at building a bridge before my time. This is completely and utterly unlike that. This is fully decentralized with relayers. You've got the interchain security modules so that you can really customize the security. And anyone can run a relayer. Part of the work that IdeaSoft is doing is creating that template for everybody as a grantee, so that if anyone wants to run a relayer, they literally can. And the community should be quite thankful, really, to what IdeaSoft are going to be doing, because any relayer going forward, as long as, fingers crossed, it's going to get merged correctly with the Hyperlane stuff, Hyperlane repo. Kadena is going to be accessible to any single person that wants to set up a relayer, whether they know they're setting one up for Kadena or not. So, look, the purpose of it really is two-way flow of assets. It's going to be, you're going to be able to ship NFTs on the bridge in V2. We could have had it in V1, but I think it was just a bit too much of a stretch in making sure that we get absolutely everything right, just specifically for tokens. But really, it's going to be that asset movement, and there's so many different things that we need on Kadena's ecosystem. Stable coins, some of these stable coins that aren't just vanilla stable coins, that even potentially have yield in them now. So that's the reason I'm going to go for, just to kick us off.
Awesome, terrific. And I'll direct one towards Andrey and Herman now. I'd love to hear a bit more in detail how the bridge works. What's the process?
Yeah, okay. Let me step in here. First of all, the bridge, as I mentioned, using like the Hyperlane infrastructure, and it's it's built on the wrapping process. So we use a wrapper smart contract that to collateral tokens on one side on the origin chain, and the mini wrap token on the destination chain. And if we go dive deeper with this process, so first of all, when you operate with the bridge, you are communicating with the mailbox. Mailbox is a smart contract that manages the sending and receiver of the interchain messages. And the process involves these next steps. First of all, message dispatch from the mailbox on the source chain, validator sign the message, and the relay drive the message to the destination chain mailbox, where it's verify the ISAM, interchain security model. It's one of the key models that is here that actually covers the security of the process. And I need to say that it's like the permissionless nature of this bridge. So that means like that everyone can set up the infrastructure and configure a model how it should be configured based on the security requirements. So this is the overall how we operate with the bridge and how bridge is structured.
Terrific. That was super great, and I know that some of the technical heads in the audience are going to really appreciate some of those details. Following in here, I'd love to drill in on something Nik mentioned earlier, which was this decentralization aspect. And we've seen in the past that centralized bridges have this single point of failure that can be a little bit scary. I was wondering sort of twofold. One, if you could talk a little bit more about the specific components of a bridge that ensure its decentralization. And then second, I'm curious how these elements differentiate this particular bridge as decentralized versus a centralized one.
Okay, so I can mention the three main points. What I'm already mentioned, it's the ISM interchange security models, it's the mailbox smart contract, and it's the validators. So if we start with interchange security model, these smart contracts are responsible for verifying that messages are generally sent for the original chain to the destination chain, and it's like the main verification point and the main security point, which holds all the rules. And as this like the smart contracts, you can use the multiple interchain models and the different combination with some flexible configuration of the security. The second one is the mailbox smart contract. So it's like the on-chain interface providing the messaging protocol, the messaging API for sending and receiving interchain messages. And like once again, you can deploy it by yourself, and this is the point of the decentralization that you have. That you can use the multiple mailbox, you can use the multiple ISMs, you can combine it in the a way how you need it, and like there's no central authority that actually controls the way and, for example, controls the processes and the flow of the security. And the third point is the validators. So the validators is acting as a point of message verification, ensuring that messages are coming from the source chain, a wallet, and can be trusted, and therefore it can be executed. So, like generally, unlike the centralized solution that typically have a single entity controlling the bridge, the ISMs, for example, can be composed and customized with the to build a flexible and secure framework that not depend on the central authority, and validators, relayers can be in fact like launched by every person because it's permissionless to launch and modify and run the protocol.
Got it. Got it. So I think it's interesting there that there's a number of elements around how these different parts really contribute overall, right? It's not like there's one piece that then is the key. It's sort of the interplay of all of these things. Cool. One other follow-up here is I'm quite curious to know a little bit more about, obviously decentralization is great just from, censorship resistance in terms of reducing single points of failure. But I'm curious, particularly on the security front, how do these decentralized elements enhance the overall security of the bridge?
Okay, I think I can once again refer to the ISM. It's like the key and the crucial point of the security. Once again, the ISM it's interchain security model. So interchain security
for those
model,
that might have missed it, can you define what ISAM means again?
Yeah, interchain security models.
ICSM. I think it's his feedback on his.
Thank you. ICSM. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. So actually, like, what is the key point here? So ISM, once again, is responsible for verifying the messages that pick up by the relayer. And it's the smart contract, and you can combine the different ISMs together to encode a security model that best fits for your need. So you cannot only use one ISM or like customize how you need it. You can also combine and mix multiple ISMs to get the best actual security model and security processes that you need. And for example, the aggregation ISM that combines several different ISM into the one streamlined validation flow. So this is like the key point which provide like the maximization of the security and actually decentralization and the same way. And additionally, like the third point is adding flexibility to their process. So this is the points about the security stuff here.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you. All right. So finally, maybe this is a question broadly for everyone here. I'm curious about what possibilities for DeFi are now open with a bridge and stablecoin and beyond.
I'm going to let Andrey go first, just because I'm going to say the stuff and steal his answers. So I don't mind letting him go first if you want, Andrey.
Yeah, I can step in as a first input here. So from our perspective, having the bridge and the stablecoin will allow the whole new level of possible integration with the third parties, as well as the whole new level of the products that will be built within the Kadena ecosystem. Especially the whole new area of the DeFi sector, of the GameFi sector, or the RV tokenization. I mean, having the bridge and the stable, from my point of view, is the crucial infrastructures that every blockchain will need or already needs in order to be competitive with others. So it's even not the innovation from my point of view, it's as a must from the infrastructural standpoint to have it. Yeah, Nik, what do you think?
I agree. I mean, look, it's like it's 2023, right? So got to have a stable coin. You have to have a stable coin, and it's obviously quite easy saying that. Obviously we need a stable coin, but then it also depends on how you manage that stable coin entry into your blockchain as well. You want to make sure that you don't fragment liquidity. You want to make sure that it's a reliable stable coin. You want to make sure that it's going to be stable. It's not going to be one of these stable coins that maybe is going to get depegged. So I think we're going to have a real focus: USDC, USDT initially. Then obviously having this bridge in place then suddenly means that maybe you can have some kind of a CDP like Liquidity or something like that, and someone wanted to build it, or you're then opening up the realm of all the rest of the dApps. A lot of builders have been in the community, and unfortunately wanting a stable coin for quite some period of time, and saying they've got lots of crazy and great ideas and want to build lots of new things. This hopefully is going to allow everyone to do that. It also means that you can have, kind of enterprises that if they wanted to operate on top of Kadena's blockchain, you now have a payment form that you necessarily didn't have before. I don't think, your Walmart wants to probably take KDA as a payment. They probably want to take a USDC or having PayPal and PUSD, etc. So, I mean, just from the mechanics of the bridge, we're going to have obviously a whitelist as a whitelist of tokens that most people have before they implement either a centralized or decentralized bridge. And there's a lot of there's about 100 tokens on that whitelist. And then again, V2, we can hopefully increase the amount of tokens that we've got for the next step. But there's loads of stuff, real world assets. Don't forget, I mentioned, NFTs are going to be transferable, both from any of the Hyperlane compatible chains into Kadena, but also Kadena onto any of the Hyperlane compatible chains. So, there's hopefully lots of possibilities. If you've got big imagination, get ready to use it.
Yeah, I think it's really like huge step forward towards the Kadena builders community. So these are the instruments for them that give them a lot of new opportunities. Yeah, even in DeFi, especially in DeFi.
Yeah, awesome. I think there's a huge amount of the ecosystem and the multi-chain world that then is facilitated when you have a robust bridge that is just so key for being a part in both allowing things to go over and come back. It just opens up so many avenues, so many doors. Really, really exciting. I know we have a few live questions here. I have a few more pre-asked questions I want to get to as well and such, but figured I wanted to get to this one from Monterey Bay Webmaster, which is a fantastic name. So what then are the things that really stood out for IdeaSoft and now working with Pact, as this can help other ETH projects realize the impact?
Can step in. So, first of all, we are focusing on the academic structure first, right? So this is why we start working with Pact, and we are happy to onboard and help to implement as many as the good projects as we can. So this is it.
We're having a little bit of audio connection there, but I think I got a high level what you're saying.
You got more than I did.
All right. I want to get louder right now. Maybe it will help. Still not helpful. Sorry, guys.
I heard Herman say how much better Pact is than Solidity. I don't know what you guys heard. But that's what...
That's right, Nick. We get to put in any line that we want him to say that. Let's see.
Yeah, did he say that Stuart Popejoy is much smarter than Vitalik as well, or was that just me?
I think what German wanted to say that we are ready to help if someone wants to speak about it, and they can contact us, and we'll help to transition from ETH to Pact.
Try once again. That's exactly what I say. Been out to work.
Yeah, we lost. I think we lost you again.
Satoshi Nakamoto, is that what he just said? Yeah.
I mean, look, some of the feedback that we've had from the IdeaSoft engineers about working in Pact, it had, like, you know, there's been a greater deal of flexibility, you know, and these engineers are literally looking at it side by side, because the way that the bridge is operating, you know, you're creating like a mailbox outside the front house of Kadena, and you're connecting it to the mailboxes are outside the houses of the other chains. So, you know, look, obviously we don't want to go into a kind of like in-depth discussion in terms of what's better, Solidity or Pact. But at the same time, you know, there's slightly different flexibilities and things that you can create that you potentially maybe can't create with Solidity that you can do on Pact. And also you've got that kind of extra layer of security. So I don't know. I wish I could hear Herman's answer clearer. Otherwise, we might have to just go with my one.
All right. Well, I have a few other questions I wanted to jump to. So some pressing ones, I would say, from Kadena UK. When does the bridge launch?
Soon. I mean, like, it's got to be soon. You know, it's, you know, we've got Andrey and Herman, CEO and CTO, IdeaSoft, building it. I don't think they're going to be coming on a campfire if it's like 2 years away from being built. But
no, it's really going to be very soon. So I mean, very soon this year you'll have it live.
Amazing. We got another question from Dev Captain. How safe will this bridge be, and will a safety audit be conducted?
Yeah, if I can take that one. So look, we're going to obviously, the bridge is going to be getting audited, you know, the same way as any kind of grantee projects, etc. And it's going to be getting audited by, you know, a very well-known and well-established auditor. So, you know, don't get me wrong, I've been fighting to maybe even see if we can get 2 audits of the bridge, you know, just because we want to be, you know, extra double safe, and give the community that kind of, you know, if it means anything, extra security that they could get from that. But, you know, we're gonna obviously we're having code reviews internally as well. So there's lots of stuff going on. You know, it's not just, you know, someone building a centralized bridge on their own, not having any code reviewed. We're being as thorough as we possibly can be with anything that's being produced.
Thank you. Got a question from No Strings Attached 02. What are the potential benefits of the Hyperlane bridge on Kadena?
Yeah, I can do this one again. Look, there's a lot of projects that are building on Hyperlane now, on top of the Hyperlane architecture now. I think Osmosis recently mentioned that they're close to having a nice completion date ready for Hyperlane integration. I think you've got Noble. I mean, look, Celestia. I don't know if anyone has heard of Celestia, but Celestia and and Hyperlane are very, very well connected in terms of, you know, from a technical and, you know, even person perspective. So Celestia is another one, Noble, or the Cosmos stuff. I mean, Arbitrum, anything that's on Arbitrum, you can basically now port over, or you'd be able to port over, or even maybe move the dApps, or if you wanted to replicate the dApps, etc. Or if you wanted to innovate, you know, the whole purpose of it isn't just that obviously Kadena can now ship to external chains, but if you build a dApp on Kadena, it means that you're going to be able to offer the services and products to a much, much larger audience.
Very cool. All right, here's another fun one. Are there any plans for a KUSD, Kadena stable?
I don't know if Andrey and Herman are building one secretly, but you know, it's not really going to be. You know, it's not like necessarily that there's going to be a KUSD Kadena stable. You know, a stablecoin has to have lots and lots of different aspects to it to make it a stablecoin. You know, you've got to have money in the bank. You know, to be, you know, showing that it's a stablecoin. You know, like. You've got regulation coming out right now, which is slowly but surely kind of giving a clearer picture, should we say, to what are the requirements of stablecoins, and not just in the US, you know, in Europe as well. You know, in terms of what a Kadena stable might look like, or KUSD, you know, I think I mentioned earlier something like Liquidity. You know, that would be a great idea for what could be a native Kadena stable. And maybe give some kind of a use, you know, additional utility to the KDA token if users wanted to do that. But, you know, right now, you know, we're here talking about bridging stables, USDC, USDT, PUSD, the PayPal stable. That's the main purpose, really, of this campfire today.
Yeah, and I would agree to Nik here that, first of all, the native stablecoin should have a purpose of the reason why, like, to build specifically KUSD or something. So currently, the through the bridge there will be like the USDT, USDC on the Kadena, and the native will be looking whether it has a fit for the business side of it. But from my side, I can add that we're very well experienced when it comes to the AML ruling of the current regulators' requirements, and we've managed to build one great technology on the AML side of things. And if Kadena will decide to go, or someone will be building the native stable on Kadena, we can reinforce it with a full AML coverage.
All right. Right on, right on. Oh, I have got a little yet important announcement. We got a Zealy code. Check it out. Zealy code IdeaSoft for those Zealy questers out there. While people scurry off and check out what that Zealy code is, want to jump into a couple more questions I thought were pretty interesting. So maybe a slightly more, I guess, technical question, but from Novak811. Will the EVM bridge be used only on one chain, or will it be supported on all chains in Kadena?
Great question. Great question. Look, as I understand it, and obviously, you know, it's not with the bridge hasn't been, you know, released yet, but you're going to be able to select which chain you actually want to, like Kadena chain, you want to send your tokens either from or to. So, you know, you're going to, the same way that you're going to have your drop down box and it says Arbitrum, Optimism, Gnosis, whatever it might be, you know, you're going to be able to also have Kadena chain 1 to 50, 90, you know, or obviously there's not 90 chains, but 1 to 0 to 20, you're going to be able to have the choice of whichever Kadena chain you want. And the purpose of that is so that, you know, you're not restricting if people, if they want to build a DeFi dApp on chain 5 or chain 12 or whatever it might be, you're going to be able to tokens, into whichever Kadena chain you want to, based on maybe where the DApp is living, or maybe that's just, your favorite number. But yeah, you're going to be able to choose which Kadena chain.
Right on. Very cool. Let's see here. Here we go. This is a fun one. Miller974. What are you looking forward to seeing the bridge be used for the most?
What are you looking forward to the bridge being used most for, Tyler?
Ooh, good question. Yeah. So let's see here. So I remember, like, if you think back, I don't know, year and a half ago or something, I think one of the things that was really interesting was like when Wrap KDA became a thing as an ERC20 token, that there was like this big surge in interest of folks being like, oh, what is this? What's going on? What's Kadena? And I think there's just an element of like the human social transmission of when you hook up systems together, that people like become more aware of things. And then like as the world becomes more connected, that tends to drive interest and drive engagement. And I think that's exciting. So I'm looking forward to like the human aspect of a bridge being both a technical thing that bridges to software and like blockchain ecosystems, but a bridge also being like a social phenomena that helps bridge communities. So I'm actually most looking forward to what happens from that social bridge, and then the possibility of new collaboration and of new engagement.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm probably most excited about NFTs. I'm excited about the bridging of NFTs because it's, I've been in crypto quite a while, and for me, NFT, non-fungible token, you're not meant to necessarily be able to fungibly move a token, but that's probably got more to do with how the name itself is wrong rather than what you're actually supposed to be doing with NFTs. And given the Marmalade launch recently, Marmalade V2 launch, I genuinely feel like being able to port NFTs to different places is exciting and can be used for, whether it's real world assets or, whatever it might be. That's probably, from my perspective, what's going to be quite interesting outside of DeFi, obviously.
Herman really didn't like that answer, Nick. I'm sorry.
Herman left and Andrey's falling asleep. This is the best campfire ever.
No, hopefully we'll get it back here in a minute or two. But yeah, still have some I think some really great questions. And of course, feel free to throw questions in the chat. We're happy to answer as much as possible. I got a DM that saying we're going to bring Herman back, build Herman back better or something. I don't know. We'll find out. But in all seriousness, a couple more really interesting questions. So this is a all right, we got him, Herman.
Yeah, finally I'm back. I don't know.
All right, we got you, man. We got you.
Great. Incredible, finally.
I have a long question here. This is from Aza Calabaza. That's a Alakazbaza. That's fun. I got to practice that one. From Aza Calabaza says, your website states it works with other blockchains like Solana and Near. Can you elaborate or show real-life examples of the work IdeaSoft has completed on these blockchains, and how does that compare to working with Kadena's blockchain technology?
I can elaborate on this. So yeah, it's an interesting question. So we try to help blockchains to be more advanced, more stable, more developed, and so on. So there are different aspects how we work with the other chains. For example, with Near, one of the successful cases of us working with them, it's help them to build the orderly network. It's the decentralized infrastructure for decentralized exchanges on Near, and currently orderly is holding, as far as I remember, like 20% of Near CVL. So it's a really successful project on Near chain right now, and soon it's going to be EVM compatible as well. if we're speaking about Solana, we are more involved within the educational aspect of Solana ecosystem. So we educate different development communities to write smart contracts on Rust with specifics of the Solana blockchain. And we've done a few educational courses on it, and like working more towards this direction. When it comes to the Kadena and the bridge that we are building, we just see that that's very nice opportunity, and it can grow like really well and help Kadena to grow and bring more builders, users, make infrastructure more sophisticated. That's maybe from my end. Herman, Nik, you have something to add?
Yeah, I mean that's that's a good answer. So he's IdeaSoft have got extensive Web3 experience. Solana, Near, Audit network is what I'd heard of. Before working with them, and I say heard of. I'd used it, etc. So I can't answer why. In terms of what the differences are versus working with Kadena. Hopefully it's been more pleasant than working with or equally as pleasant or whatever. But
no, but it's like these partnerships, I would say half of it are attached to technology, but decent half of it is more about the people you work with on the daily basis. So in IdeaSoft and in all the companies we're involved at, in all our partnerships, clients, contracts, partners, we try to stick to the motto that it's always everything's about people. So even if technology can be not like super great, I'm not speaking about the Kadena right now. Technology is great, but the team that Kadena has, for us, it's really pleasure to work with these people, and we do see for very long term that for us, like we're having fun and pleasure, and exchange great expertise that they have, we have. So it's really good mutual win-win collaboration.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's also worth mentioning, we brought on, Jesse Marcus, Travis Leiden, product owner, project managers. Obviously some of the engineering teams have grown in size as well. And half the reason that that's happening is because we want to be able to make sure that we can deliver on not just the products that, maybe we're building internally ourselves, or Pact core that, Stuart is always constantly wanting to improve and make sure it gets absolutely right. On the DX team, making sure that the developer experience team is always as kind of fantastic as it possibly can be, but also so that we can work with, offer support to, and hopefully build great things with external partners as well. Like IdeaSoft, and Jesse, Travis have been doing some fantastic work, in making sure that the project is running smoothly. Making sure that obviously we're building. Tyler, this better than most. We're building a tech product here. There's always going to be a delay, or that something's going to go wrong, etc. Or and just making sure that it's not catastrophic, that it's smooth, and this is it's a partnership working to and fro. I can definitely say the engineers at IdeaSoft have been genuinely impressive, and with both their work rate and productivity and quality of the work that they've been producing. And this has been apparent to the team at Kadena. So it's been fantastic.
Right on. From Nathan for great. How about a gas fee for bridging? Are cross-chain bridging transactions going to be done at less cost?
Less cost to what?
I understand the end of that, but maybe what are kind of the economics of using the bridge? Maybe let's ask that question.
I mean, so look, the economics obviously are going to be decided by whoever's running the bridge, and in terms of the way that the hype, he's back. Herman's back. He's back in the room.
He's trying.
we started talking about transaction costs, and Herman immediately he's back.
Yeah. So, like, do you hear me right now? Okay, I don't know. I have a couple glitches, but now it should be okay. I don't know why. But still the same.
It's a write-off, Herman. It's a write-off. It's too late. We're already 45 minutes of the way through. But with the transaction costs, so look, the whole purpose of us wanting to obviously, provide a grant for what is a common good, a bridge with Kadena being a common good, and with it falling within the grants program, is that we can obviously try and make it as economical as possible for people who want to bridge assets to and from Kadena's blockchain. So look, obviously, I'm not going to be running the bridge myself. It's going to obviously be run by a third party, but the transaction costs would be hopefully done in a way that minimize the cost and maximize the efficiency for bridging assets. I think there's a reason that Wormhole is able to bail out, X number of 100 millions in losses, because they have ridiculous fees they have very, very substantial fees, on the bridging that happens, as do other bridges. This is meant to be a decentralized bridge, so it's meant to be as economic as possible for the user, and obviously running a relayer isn't free. There's obviously certain costs that are associated for Wormhole, for Axelar, for any of the other kind of bridge providers that run a centralized bridge, and that's why there's fees associated with it. So I don't think you're going to see at less than cost, because I don't think anyone in their right mind wants to pay for other people to bridge transactions. But at the same time, it's going to be hopefully reasonably priced.
I think normally we kind of wrapping with the campfire here, but the bridge is, I think, such a seminal moment that if it's okay with everyone here, are we good to run on for a few minutes longer?
Keep going, buddy. Keep going. We're here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So I have a couple more interesting questions from the chat here. So Botter has one on, do USDC and USDT need a bridge to get them in any blockchain? Shouldn't Circle or Tether build their smart contract with Pact language and provide liquidity to have them in a blockchain?
It's a bit of a crazy question. Look, I don't think you're going to be able to persuade Circle and Tether to, suddenly start writing all of their smart contracts in Pact. Circle has something called CCTP, which is the cross-chain transfer protocol, and that's their centralized bridge that Circle uses. And that's why there's obviously been recent news of Solana and Polkadot and Cosmos, what was it? There was another one which have been added to the CCTP, or Circle's kind of bridge. And the way that they operate this, unofficially, if they see volume going to a chain, then Circle are gracious enough to grant you access to their CCTP bridge and have USDC going direct. Given that Noble is, I believe, connected within the Hyperlane architecture, and Noble is technically speaking native USDC, you should be able to mint USDC at Noble and port that into Kadena direct, thanks to this bridge. So they'll say we've got to let's get the bridge released, and then hopefully some of these questions might be a bit easier.
Yep, makes sense. Let's see here. I saw another pre-asked question. This is maybe a little more of a fun one here from Dov Gruk. Where are you from, and how long have you been working in crypto? Maybe we can go around the table here. Can I start with you, Andrey?
Yeah, sure. But so I'm in crypto since 2012, I would say. Actively, in the business from 2014, but in crypto from 2012. Actually, Herman introduced crypto to me.
Yeah.
He was the door opener here, and I'm originally from Ukraine, but currently we're headquartered with the main office in Lisbon in Portugal. So, yep.
Very cool.
From Herman, I would say I'll answer on his behalf. So you can apply the same statement, but with the word of Herman.
Very good.
Yeah, like if you hear me start like a year earlier, and then introduce the blockchain to Andrew, and like our headquarters in Portugal, but like as you see on my internet connection, I'm now in New York, so you can understand it.
Very good. Cool. And let's see. I saw another live question. Let me scroll back and grab it. This is from Ron the Wizard. Question for Tyler. Nik, what's next? We're building the bridge. How do we convince people to use it?
I mean, I don't think, it's not a question of how do you convince people to use it. People should want to use it, because they've got a purpose and a need. It's not like we're building this bridge and then, we're going to suddenly set up a couple of call centers and start ringing people to start, bridging assets from here, there, and everywhere. It doesn't really work like that. It's not that, if we create a demand for, wanting to use USDC on Kadena, for example, then, people will use the bridge. I think, just maybe taking the question back a tiny step and saying, you want to maybe obviously persuade people that it's safe. You want people to be able to test it, maybe having a public, beta test, going and people getting stuck in and seeing how it works is always good, just to build confidence in it. And then, from a DeFi perspective, you build the dApps that hopefully, generate that interest and demand. So I hopefully that's good for you, Ron. And look, Ron the Wizard, if he's part of the Wizards project, hopefully you guys might have a use case for USDC and you can be a big part of why people would want to use the bridge.
Yeah, totally. I think that's a great segue next to what I was thinking, which was, look, I think at the end of the day, if you can, Ron, if you're running an NFT project and you can now market or try and talk to other communities in Ethereum and bring people into the Wizards ecosystem and into the Kadena ecosystem, then that becomes a way that suddenly the audience for what people are building becomes larger. So I think that, that's one of the things, right? If your onboarding process to getting into a Kadena project is, first you got to go on, this exchange or this DeFi exchange, then you got to do this swap, then you got to download this wall, then you got to do that and that, then it's just a little more friction versus if you're like, hey, actually, here's a pretty easy way that you already have like stuff here, you buy this thing and then it comes over, then it's maybe a little easier. So I think that's broadly true in general. It goes both directions too, right? If you can bring something on the Kadena side over to the ETH side, and now you throw it on, whether it's Uniswap or whether it's Anchor or whatever your favorite DeFi protocol is, there's other opportunities. Then I think effectively what you do is you increase the velocity of different assets in crypto. And this has been a story as old as time in money and finance in general, that a lot of key innovations have been around increasing the velocity of money and your ability to transact and interact. And when you increase the size of the network and you increase the size of the people you can interact with, that drives value, because suddenly the ecosystem that you can target as your customer isn't just people, the X number of people that are already in Kadena, it's the Y number of people that are in Kadena and Ethereum. And so I think that's where I hope to see, folks like yourselves leveraging this technology in a way that drives value to everyone. All right, I think we are more or less at time here. So maybe I will just pose a very final last opportunity to folks to share any last thoughts, words, parting wisdom, or encouragement. And I'll maybe put Nik on the spot first, because I love doing that, and then we'll pass it to our guests, Andrey and Herman.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I mean, like, yeah, I always feel like this is like Jerry Springer's final thoughts, Tyler. When you're like, be kind to each other or whatever he said. It's more about, we're trying to build, and this is where the grants program has come in, to facilitate, common good products. And, as you heard from Stuart Popejoy and Emily, Stuart Popejoy, like 2 weeks ago, Emily last week, and other people in previous weeks, we're trying to definitely answer some of the questions that are coming from the community and provide functionality and utility, which just all it does is add value to creating things in Pact on Chainweb. So this is obviously going to be a big step towards that, and even though it is a big step, it's just the first step, and fingers crossed there's going to be lots more stuff to come after this.
Terrific. Andrey or Herman, anything from you? Maybe I'll go to Andrey first.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us for the stream. It was a very interesting conversation, and always great to speak with you guys and work with you together. And I hope that this bridge will be like first cornerstone of the new, larger and higher, more efficient direction that Kadena ecosystem will start growing. And I'm happy and grateful to be part of it. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you guys for inviting me. I'm super happy to also be part of it, and we are super happy to provide the great solutions for the community as usual.
Fantastic. Thank you, Herman. Thank you, Andrey. Thank you, Nik. Folks, it's such a pleasure, always such a delight to spend an hour of my morning with you and share some thoughts around crypto and how these things are progressing. I really like some of the final questions we had here. I think at the end of the day, what's so fascinating about this space is that there's this technology angle, and then there's this people and human and adoption angle, right? And I think we have some incredible builders around the table here, and there's incredible builders at Kadena and in the community. And then there's all these evangelists, of which we are just a few here on stage that are helping to share and about what Kadena is doing, the technology that's being built, how some of the use cases are special and unique and differentiated. And so I think at the end of the day here, it's really a team effort. And everyone on this stream is part of that broader Kadena fam, that Kadena army, that Kadena crew. And so it's a delight to collaborate with all of you. And so I just want to thank you for tuning into this campfire. It's a pleasure, and look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Thank
you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.